Hello everyone, and welcome to, in my opinion, the top 5 bows in Minecraft Dungeons. So if you have any differences or similarities to this list, make sure you comment them in the description below so I can see it. So I'm going to be using a mod which gives me unlimited arrows so I can better show you how these bows will perform in an Apocalypse plus 25 level. So at our number 5 spot, we have the Pride of the Piglens. So the Pride of the Piglens is a really unique crossbow with its mid-range to lower damage output, chance to fire piercing bolts, and very strong but very weird wind-up attack. So of course for enchantments I have Void Strike, which can really help you defeat those stronger enemies, Gravity to pull all the mobs together, and finally Multi-Shot to get out those few extra arrows and more damage. Alright, so immediately you can see in the top left corner, arrows are starting to charge. So with normal bows, you'd hold down to charge up an arrow, but if you hold down with this crossbow, a bunch of arrows fly out in short succession of each other. You can still shoot one by just tapping, but I think holding it is much better. You can see the multi-shots occurring a few times. Gravity as well, and the Void Strike especially. And if I get even closer, the multi-shot, along with the gong, you can see all that damage stacking up. Probably 20 million damage right there. This is really good for taking down single targets and big groups of enemies, but I also think it's good for bosses. Because if you get super up close and fire all your arrows at once, you can get a lot of damage in a short amount of time. So this is why I put Pride of the Piglens at our number 5 spot. So at number 4 we have the Harp Crossbow. So I chose the Harp Crossbow for number 4 because of one trait that it has. 5 arrows at once and even more projectiles. So you can see its damage output is very low normally, the power is super low, but it does have even more projectiles and it shoots 5 arrows at once. Of course, for enchantments I have Multi-Shot, Chain Reaction, Rapid Fire, which all these enchantments together are very strong on a Harp Crossbow. Probably the best you could get, along with Accelerate. So testing it out here, as you can see from far away, all of the arrows shooting out. As you can see, we slowly get faster and faster. So it's just a constant beam of arrows everywhere. You can see the chain reaction, rapid fire, and accelerate all working together. Now, I think this weapon is very good for groups of enemies, as you saw. You can shoot a bunch in one direction. And you can also, if you get up close, activate the gong. As you can see, all that damage is activating. And you slowly get faster and faster and faster. Using this on a boss will be really good. See all the arrows in the target dummy. You can see the accelerate starts to pop. You can get really fast with this bow and deal out a bunch of damage in a short amount of time. Activate the gong. You can see we're doing 1 million per arrow, I think. Which, when you think about it, 15 arrows at once. Even more chain reacting to hit other mobs around the boss or the large group of enemies. So this is of course why I put the Harp Crossbow at number 4. Alright, at number 3 we have the Red Snake. So the Red Snake has a really high damage output, strong charged arrows, and a chance for arrows to explode or fuse shot, which is really good for taking down a big group of enemies. Of course, for enchantments, we have Overcharge, Chain Reaction, and Power. Power to really help you get in that extra damage, Chain Reaction to help not waste your arrows, but spread them everywhere, and Overcharge just to get the biggest hit in possible. So we have lower power, low speed, and really low ammo. But when you think about it, all these together really help balance out the weapon. Let me, of course, charge up an arrow. There, almost 20 million, plus that extra 1.5 million. This is the most damage we're gonna get. There's no Void Strike on this one. You can see, this is really good for taking down single targets. Chain Reaction can help you get in a little more damage. But this arrow, or this bow, I guess is really best for bosses. Not the best, but it's a good all-around bow that can help you defeat pretty much everything. I think it just performs the best on bosses. The overcharge really helpful. Let me just charge it once, 2 times, and finally 4. And you see the chain reaction activated there. Arrows go everywhere, and I'm pretty sure those have Fuse Shot too. That's why chain reaction is really good on this bow. Fuse Shot can really help you defeat bigger groups of mobs, or at least lower them. So this is why I put the Red Snake at number 3. Alright, and at our number 2 spot we have the Guardian Bow. So the Guardian Bow has pretty high damage and double strong charged arrows. Well, strong charged attacks and strong charged arrows. So both of those supercharges are working together. So for enchantments, I have Overcharge, Power, Critical Hit, and Gilded Damage Multiplier Void Strike. So Critical Hit can really help you deal more damage against single targets and groups of enemies if you had Piercing, Power to deal the extra hit, and Overcharge to get the best damage output possible. As you can see, similar to the Red Snake, if not the exact same. Lower power, lower speed, lower ammo. I don't know why it says lower power, because this is probably one of the most powerful bows in the game. That's why it's at our number 2 spot. Alright, so let me go ahead and shoot 1 arrow. The Void Strike's activated, and now 77 million. 86 million. 237 million. You probably see why I put this bow so high. It's really fun to see those big crit numbers against bosses and single targets. Let me go ahead and hit the gong. 64. 188. See if we can get a crit on this last hit. Come on. Oh, 173 million without the gong though. Still, that's really high. Recharge it once, 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. As you can see, it really works best with the 4th charge. So this weapon is really good for taking down all types of enemies. Bosses, groups of mobs if you have Piercing or Poison Cloud, and really tanky single targets like the guards or even the cows. It's really good against enchanted mobs, I feel. If you had unenchanting on this bow, it'd be really good. But still, it's very, very good. Very fun in my opinion. So that's why the Guardian Bow is at our number 2 spot. Finally, at our number 1 spot, we have the Elite Power Bow. So the Elite Power Bow has a ginormous damage output, strong charged attacks, power or greater damage, just to get in that extra damage to take down those single targets. So it has better damage output than the Guardian Bow, which is, of course, it's an Elite Power Bow. So that's why I think it really gets a step above it. It has Overcharge, Piercing, and Void Strike. So Overcharge to get in that highest amount of damage possible, along with Void Strike and Critical Hit to get those super hard damage hits, and Piercing to hit more targets at once with 1 arrow. Of course, it has very high power, low speed, and even lower ammo. But that low ammo doesn't matter as much when you're using Piercing to hit so many targets at once. Let me go ahead and charge it. As you can see, the Piercing, 30 million damage, 104 million damage, 106 million damage, 293 million. See, the damage you can get on this bow is insane, and I haven't even activated the gong. Piercing on this could be very good. or is very good. That's why I chose it. 87, 273, 80 million. Yeah, this bow does a ton of damage, and it's best against bosses in my opinion, and large groups of enemies that are kind of in a line, so you can hit all of them at once, and just clear the path so you can run by. Go ahead and bang, 350 million. I wonder if it's ever possible to reach 1 billion damage. It might be with this one. We'll have to test it out. So I'm going to go to the secret cow level so I can show you guys this bow in action. Of course, I'll keep on the unlimited arrows, but in a normal scenario, you wouldn't have this many, but I probably wouldn't use all of my arrows up. Still, I think it's a good way to show you how powerful this bow really can be. So like last time, I equipped my Renegade armor. I didn't equip a melee weapon, just so I don't have the temptation to hit them. So hopefully this goes okay. This first group is usually enchanted. So nope. Good. As you can see, one shot in there. Oh, I forgot. Bang. Don't even get the chance. It's good to line up those hits where you can literally just go straight through them, killing more mobs behind them. Go ahead and gong this big group and bang! This bow is really fun to use against straight single lines of enemies. Sorry, I keep forgetting I don't have a melee weapon. It's just instinct. Don't even need one with this. This bridge is really good to get a bunch of enemies out. Okay, let's see if we can one-shot this enchanted. Yep, not even a shot. Bang. Oh, come on. Bang. This bow is very good against the cow. I think I'll speed up this segment until I get to the boss, just because right now you've already kind of seen what it's like against cows and basic mobs. So now I'm going to show you it against the boss. Alright, so I finally made it to the boss with a few more deaths. Normally you wouldn't use just your bow, you use your melee weapon as well, but I really wanted to show you how the bow is. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn him. First hit. Yeah, that's why this bow is so good against bosses. Nearly one shot. Probably would have been if I didn't get that extra damage to get Void Strike. But yeah, this bow is really fun to just destroy bosses and single lines of enemies with. So in the end, I think the Elite Power Bow is a really good bow that can help you in situations against really powerful mobs like bosses, mini-bosses, and enchanted mobs, and along with mobs that are in straight lines, like along bridges. It's not so good against swarms of mobs that go at you at all sides, but that's why you have a melee weapon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you tune into new videos. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.